So the last topic here in chapter 7 is all about areas for triangles. So recall back from geometry, the area for a triangle you probably learned was 1/2 base times height, right? Here's the catch though. If it's not a right triangle, and this is the base, then your height is not one of the side lengths. And it doesn't matter which side length you think is the base. You know, your height still is not going to be one of the side lengths. So if you're not given the height, if all you have are angles and side lengths, this actually turns out to be quite a difficult geometry problem to figure out what that height is going to be. Alternatively, you could use one of these two new area formulas that we're going to present to you right now. So again, say we have our triangle ABC here. Our area I can write as 1/2 AB sine of angle C. Or I could write it as 1/2 BC sine of angle A. Or I could write as 1/2 AC sine of angle B. If I look at those situations, if I have the first situation, I need angle C, I need side A, and I need side B. What sort of situation is this? That's a side angle side situation. So any side angle side situation, we can just use this formula to find an area, which turns out to be like considerably easier than the geometry alternative. So just an example here. So say we have the triangle where angle A is 43 degrees, side B is 10 millimeters, and side C is 27 millimeters. So if we look at our triangle, it looks like we have what kind of situation? Looks like side angle side. So I can just say the area then is 1/2 10 times 27 times sine of 43 degrees. Feel okay? So we'll go ahead and just pound that through our calculator. So 1/2 times 10 times 27 times sine 43. And I get about 9207. What would the unit be on that number? Millimeters isn't quite right. What are we finding here? What measurement? Millimeters squared, yes, because it's an area. Is Mr. Kulik going to be picky about seeing squared attached to your area units? Yes, he will. So make sure that you're doing that. Everyone okay here, though? Formula pretty straightforward, right? Just plugging in the things to the right spots and going. Now, our other option for our new formula is we're going to use this formula, we're going to start first by defining a new quantity called the semi-perimeter. So hopefully we remember that the prefix semi means half. So the semi-perimeter should be half perimeter. Well, the perimeter for a triangle is just the sum of the three side lengths. So the semi-perimeter is the sum of the three side lengths divided by 2. Okay? So we define that semi-perimeter so that we can use it in this area formula, where the area is the square root of that s times s minus a times s minus b times s minus c. So what three quantities am I going to need to use to get this area? Yeah, I need A, B, and C, the three side lengths. So what type of triangles can I use this on? Has to be side, side, side triangles. You got it. All right. Now, right away, I can tell this is a side, side, side triangle, right? Because all I'm given are side lengths. Nothing has a degree symbol on it, so they're all side lengths quite clearly. What do I have to remember to check before I proceed in a side, side, side triangle situation? That I can actually make a triangle out of these three sides. How do I check that? Yes. So leg plus leg has to be greater than hypotenuse. So 5 plus 5 is greater than 10. That is indeed true. How did I know 10 was the hypotenuse? It's the biggest number. Yep. Everybody feel good on that? Okay. So now compute my S. So that's going to be 5 plus 8 plus 10 divided by 2. Now I want you guys all to pay very close attention here while I do this. So I typed in 5 plus 8 plus 10 divided by 2 in my calculator. I got 18. Is that right? No, right? How is that number going to be bigger than any one of the three side lengths? What's my mistake? Is my calculator broken? The calculator's not broken. I'm broken. What did I type in? Yeah, the only thing being divided by 2 is the 10 there, right? The calculator is going to follow order of operations. It did what I said, not what I meant. What I would recommend instead is using that horizontal fraction bar. Everybody's okay there? That's what that really should be. So now to compute my area, 23 over 2 times 23 over 2 minus 5 times 23 over 2 minus 8 times 23 over 2 minus 10. So instead of typing 23 over 2 a bunch of times, I'm going to take advantage of the calculator's ANDS function. So I'll do square root and I'll do ANDS times ANDS minus 5 times ANDS minus 8 times ANDS minus 10. Again, you could type the 23 over 2 in a bunch of times, but like yuckarooskies. Now, the one thing I'm going to do here, additional, well, actually, I just press enter. And I get this gross fraction. I don't want my answer as a fraction. I want a decimal, right? So to turn that into a decimal, I'm just going to press math and then pick the decimal command. So that answer should be about 19.81. What's the unit on that going to be? Sure. Well, 11.5 would be yes. 16.5, no. That would be wrong. Yes, you could use a decimal there, sure. Absolutely. What should the unit be on this, though? Not meters squared. You got to have that squared on there. I'm marking off. Everybody's okay? All right, Mr. Kulik. So far, this has been really quite easy, right? What's the catch? What's the hard way, like the hard situation we could run into? Oh, hold on a second. All right. What's the hard situation we might run into? How could you try to trick us on this? Oh, my God. The first situation only works for side, angle, side. The second situation only works for side, side, side. What if you don't have one of those two situations? So clearly this is not a side angle side or side 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 situation, right? I can tell right away because I have two angles given to me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just start by drawing the picture. So far, so good. What am I going to have to do if I want to find the area of this, but I don't have enough information for a side angle side or side 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 situation? I'm going to have to use the law of sines or cosines to find some of the missing pieces, essentially solving the triangle, at least enough of it to get, enough to do the side, 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 or side angle side. Now, which of these two situations, or which of the two do I want to shoot for? Side angle side or side, side, side? Which is going to be easier to get to? The side angle side. Always going to be the easier one to get to. The side, side, side will require us to solve the entire triangle. Side, 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 I will not need to solve the whole thing. Gabby, what's up? Sure. All right. So let's say that we decide we want to solve for B, right? That's the easiest one to solve for because I don't need to find angle C to get it. Everybody good with that plan? So I can say, okay, well, sine of angle A over side A equals sine of angle B over side B. I cross multiply. And then divide by sine 40. So I get about 13.74. So if I'm going to use side A and then side B, I got to find angle C anyway, huh? To do the side angle side. Well, that's easy though, right? How do I find angle C? You subtract from 180, right? So my area then should be 1/2 10 times 13.74 times sine of 78. And I'm donezos. So I have about 67.8 or 1/8 square feet. Anthony. Sure. That's as hard as I get. Where I actually have to tack on a little bit of solving the triangle in front to get to the area formula. I can't remember if that happens in the homework or not, but I figured I'd show it to you because it's like, no big deal. What do you guys think? That's it for chapter 7. That's the last thing. So for you guys, for Sunday, your final problem set for the semester will be 23 through 30. It's the final problem set for the semester. So Sunday at midnight will also be the final opportunity for any chapter 7 late work. Anything prior to chapter 7 needed to be completed by last Friday. But I'll still take chapter 7 late work up until Sunday midnights. So if you've missed out on some of that, that's okay. We'll still take it. But that'll be the last assignment to go in the grade book. Is that last little itty bitty homework. Also to remind you, at the start of class, everybody got a copy of the exam review. Remind me again, what is the exam review? What's that good for? Good. If you turn it in by the end of school on Friday, 2:45 on Friday or before, 5 points of extra credit on your exam. What else? You can use it on the exam. It's a pretty good deal. While you're working on your review, you can be as thorough as you want with answering the questions. You don't have to just write the work to do the question. You can write explanations, you can write formulas, you can describe to yourself in general what to do or things to look out for. The goal with this is to turn this from a memorization exam into a preparation exam. That if you do a good job on your review and you're well prepared on your review, should make the exam enormously easier than what it was, right? What's the catch though, Mr. Kulik? Yes, the key for the review will not be released until 2:45 on Friday. Now you're free to ask questions about things up until that point, but I'm not going to release a Kia for the review with my worked out solutions until 2:45 on Friday, so that the work on your review is your work and not just you copying my stuff. That doesn't help you out a whole lot if you don't know how I got any of it, right? Forces you to do it yourself, or at least do it with somebody else that knows what they're doing. To hopefully get some osmosis going on there, but can you turn it in early? Of course, yes. Anytime you're finished and you want to get rid of your review, I'm happy to take it. Before you turn it in, what should you do? I would take a picture. Yeah. Why? Well, if I did one of the problems wrong on my review and I find out when I check against Mr. Kula's answer key, boy, I'd want to know that before the exam. So it's like, oh, well, I did questions 2 and 7 on the review wrong. I better make sure to study those ones extra well so that because I know my review may not be super helpful to me on that. You know what I'm saying? Okay. Any questions about the exam? The format for the exam will essentially be the review, but shorter, right? Same style of questions, same types of questions. It'll be essentially the same thing, just shorter. Should you bother studying anything that's not on the exam review? No, I wouldn't bother with it. I also want to point out to you on the OneNote, under the exam heading there, I have the equation sheet that I'll give you with your final exam. My suggestion to you is, as you're doing your review, have that equation sheet out open. And if you have to pull a formula or use the equation sheet to get the unit circle or something, you make a note of that on your review to remind yourself on the exam, hey, when I get to a question like this, I need to go to,
Get a unit circle the test or not?
So the exact equation sheet that I'm going to give you is here in the OneNote, and you can see exactly what's on it, what it looks like, and what you're going to get.
All right.
Anything not on there is your responsibility, either to memorize or make sure if you need it for a particular problem, that it's on your review. Right? You're welcome to write formulas and such on your review if it's relevant to the problem you're working on. Does that answer? Yeah.
Thanks.
Sure. Any final questions? Okay. I've done everything I could possibly do to make this exam as manageable and realistic to do as possible. If you spend a good time working on your review and you feel comfortable doing the things on the review, the exam should be a breeze because you get to take all that good work you put onto the review with you into the final exam, and you can just basically okay, problem just like this. How do I do this problem? It's right here on my review. I'm just going to look at this while I do the new one. Should be easy peasy. Okay? Should not be a heavy memorization where you have to practice the bejesus out of things, unless you make a bloody mess out of your review and it's not very useful to you. But don't do that. Spend some good time on there. Ask questions if you're confused. Everybody okay? Feel pretty fair? Okay. That's it for me. So you guys can take the remaining, 20 minutes or so and start working on your final homework set or your review or catching up on a missing or whatever is your top priority at the moment. Sure.